And our sources have said Prime Minister Modi will be speaking to the Ukrainian president. Let's go across to Akhilesh for more details on this. Akhilesh, what do we know?
Well, this telephone conversation is going to happen shortly. This is what the government sources are telling us. And we've been told that the immediate priority and the agenda of this telephonic conversation is about the evacuation of all the Indian students who are still in some parts of Ukraine, especially in the city of Sumy. We know that around 700 students are still stranded in Sumy, and they are very desperate because the necessary things are not available to them. Even basic things like water is not available to them. And they were so desperate that, on Saturday, they threatened to walk around 50 kilometers toward the Russian borders. But the Indian embassy had urged them to stay inside the university complex and also inside the bunkers. And the embassy has been in touch with them. In the meanwhile, India has been trying to pursue both the Russia and the Ukraine for a temporary ceasefire so that safe evacuation of all these students can take place. And India has been in touch with the Russia, but Russia has been saying that it is ready for a temporary ceasefire, but it is the Ukrainian forces which are continue to shell and also engage in other fight. And that is why now Indian Prime Minister is going to speak to Ukrainian President Zelensky, and we have been told that the topmost priority is the evacuation of all the students who are still in Sumy. In the meanwhile, the Operation Ganga is in the last phase, and yesterday the embassy has issued an advisory to all the students to reach to Hungary, and they have been issued a Google form that has to be filled in, and more than 17,000 students via more than 75 flights have been brought back to India.
All right, Akhilesh, thanks so much for joining us. With that, so Prime Minister Modi to speak to the Ukrainian president, and the priority for India's evacuation of Indian students. Remember, attempts have been made at ceasefires so that civilians can be evacuated or can leave the cities that are under attack. However, both sides have blamed one another as the ceasefires have failed so far.